And still, the one and only best friend tag team in the biz. Ladies and gentlemen, we ain't no KO, Chris Jericho here. We're talking about the real deal, for life type shit. Here you got Gucci and the Prince. What's up, Gucci?
Yo, what's going on?
Yo, you're number one on the list of Prince games, and that's because you're the best.
It's the truth, guys out and girls out there. He sent me the list of Prince on Monday.
Can I tell you I was late to practice because I was editing that, sitting on my board. I got the Chris Jericho list of Jericho, and I was just photoshopping it and trying to make it work for like 15 minutes. I'm a real adult, Gucci.
Listen, man, our friendship isn't breaking up. Nobody's turning heel yet on each other.
No way, man. We're gonna get a real payoff if that happens.
We're trying to be tag team specialist.
Tag team specialists, because they don't exist anymore. Unless you're the Revival.
American Alpha, the Revival. I don't. Would you count the DIY? Because they're not. They're making it together, but like they're not. Like they're two like superstar indie stars, whatever. That became a tag team because they were drowning by themselves in WWE.
Who have potential to be top-notch guys, but will probably get washed away in the Cruiserweight division.
Speaking of that, I'll go right into it. I was at NXT in Asbury Park, New Jersey last week, and when DIY was out, all you kept hearing with all the people, all 800 people that were there, was Psycho Killer, and then Johnny Wrestling back and forth. It was like, Psycho Killer, Johnny Wrestling, Psycho Killer. It was pretty cool. But that's what I mean. I don't know if they're tag team specialists, but, I mean, they're awesome in the ring.
Yeah, they are. And I think they're two guys who are such good wrestlers that they could make being a tag team happen because they're such students of the game. And it goes to, okay, now I'm not watching the best singles anymore when I'm studying. I'm studying the Brain Busters. I'm studying the Legion of Doom. I'm studying the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, stuff like that.
They're going into the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah, they are.
It's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. I hope they get my boy Jim Cornette to induct them. I don't think they'll.
No, I think they were actually pushing for Luke Gallows and Anderson to induct them. Yeah, because they're like huge fans of the Rock and Roll Express. They base a lot of their stuff off them.
That would be cool.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm looking at the an article that was written in the Asbury Press, and they were talking about NXT this time around coming to the convention hall, and they were saying how big of a difference it actually was, because I guess the first time around there was a lot of, quote unquote, they were saying vanilla action. I guess when NXT went there the first time, Finn Balor was the main event, but I guess it was still in that there wasn't as many names in NXT, right? It was still more that, lower tier of WWE. People were trying to make a name for themselves.
But that's what it's supposed to be.
What it's supposed to be, but it's not becoming that anymore, right? I mean, think about it. Look, going through the card, right? Probably the first match is the only one where I really didn't know who it was, right? And let me see. The first match was Steve Cutler versus Aleister Black, a.k.a. Tommy End. I'm not too familiar with him.
Tommy End?
Yeah.
He's an indie guy. He PWG, all that. He's tattoos.
Yeah, he was a Jersey guy? Was he the Jersey guy?
He's one of the.
Okay, so it was Steve Cutler then. Steve Cutler was the Jersey guy. I remember the match because they said he was from like Central Jersey somewhere.
Yeah, no, Tommy End's from England, but he's a bad motherfucker, dude. You'll be hearing about him soon. Aleister Black is Aleister Crowley. That was the name he stole. Yeah.
Yeah, and he won the match, and then the second match of the night was Amber Moon. And that's at a show in Asbury. You know what I mean? Like Amber Moon's I feel like she's probably going to be in the the NXT title picture soon. She wrestled Daria from Tough Enough, the Jersey girl that got cut early. So she wrestled Daria. Amber Brunach obviously won it. Then you have Eric Young. Now, I wanted to talk about Eric Young. I don't think I got to tell you too much about it. But, he has this whole gimmick with Sanity, right? And it was just him and the girl. Do you remember her name off the top of your head? I don't remember all the names. It'll come to me. But they come out and they're doing the gimmick. But as he's wrestling the match, he starts doing all Ric Flair gimmick moves. It was so funny. And he was playing the crowd. Like, he would hit, like, give you a little laugh since it was a house show. And he was doing all the chops, and then he did the run off the top rope, and then he got thrown. And everybody was dying laughing, dude. It was so classic that you would only see it at a house show.
That's pretty rad, though.
Yeah, dude. He was working it so much, and they were just playing. It was really cool. I was excited for that because we've seen Eric Young before. We saw him when we went to TNA in the Manhattan Center, and it was pretty cool because I think that Sanity's going to probably wind up working for him. I don't know about those other dudes. Maybe it'll be like something like the Wyatt family. But I don't know. I mean, Luke Harper is a lot better.
Yeah, but remember when Luke Harper first started, dude, people weren't too high on him or Eric Rowan for the longest time.
Luke Harper was a big indie star if you knew about him.
He was established as Brody, I forget, Brody something his name was.
That's not Bruiser Brody, right?
No, but it was an homage
to Bruiser Brody.
Him. But people weren't too high on him or Eric Rowan, and they're still around 3 years later. And remind me to go when we get back.
But dude, I was saying the match with him and Randy Orton was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
And Nikki Cross is her name. Sorry, I had to just make sure I don't look that stupid.
So I would think being around someone like Eric Young is only going to help them, and
I would assume that's why he's with them, right?
And the longer they can stay with him, the better they're going to get, till they get their moment, and they shine because they've been around him for so long. So let's see them fall flat on their face first before we. I
can see them getting to the main roster, and then Vince wanting to break them up.
Hey. The Ascension were huge in NXT, man.
Yeah. So, the next match was Author of Pain versus DIY, and that was pretty much like a gimme match. You knew that Authors of Pain were going to win, but they put on a good match. Again, Authors of Pain is so new. You could tell that DIY is kind of putting them through like the ringer and showing them what to do, and calling the spots. They messed up a couple times, the Author of Pains. They still got a lot of work to do. Like to me, they're a true NXT tag team. Learning, they're in development. And you have somebody like DIY, which I feel like they really shouldn't be in the ring together. But it's NXT, so it's a little bit different. DIY blows them out of the water, but you can see that they're teaching them.
I could see those guys becoming the permanent on-screen coaches down there for the tag teams.
You think so?
Well, just think about it. What are they going to do with them on the main roster? Really think about it. Love them. They're great wrestlers. But I just see them getting lost in the sauce, either in the tag team division or in the...
I would say, if anything, they probably were cruiserweight, right?
And are they going to get to a point where they're just going to have a cruiserweight tag, a junior heavyweight tag team division, they do in Japan?
I mean, I guess they have to do something eventually because they're going to have a lot of people soon. But then, what are they doing with the United Kingdom Championship? I mean, that was on NXT this week. What's going on with that? I'm so confused. I didn't watch it this week. I saw that he retained it, but I didn't watch it.
I haven't watched any of that.
I'm up to date on NXT. I just didn't watch this week's yet, and like I said, I knew he retained it, but I'm pretty lost to where they're going with that. The next match was Patrick Clark versus the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger. Probably had it was a tie between Ty Dillinger and Shinsuke and Bobby Roode for the biggest pop of the night.
They go nuts for Perfect 10?
Yeah, he got a really good crowd reaction. Patrick Clark is doing that whole gimmick that he's flamboyant and stuff. But he was from tough enough as well too.
Okay.
And they put on a good match. You could Ty Dillinger again. He's a ring general. You know, he knows how to put together a match. I just feel, you know what I think of him. What's his face with Fandango?
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. He's stuck in NXT. Is not winning any championships. He's been there forever. He's over, but they don't know what to do with him. Tyler Breeze. They did the same thing with Tyler Breeze. He was always either in the championship, never won, or was always one match off of being in the championship, and he was in NXT forever. I don't know if you were watching NXT that religiously then, but and then they brought him up to the main roster, and now he's giving tickets for.
Somehow it's like, we don't have anything for you. What do you mean? You're just jobbing me. If you keep putting me over and keep putting me so I progress and eventually give me an IC title, what do you mean you have nothing for me? You tell me you have nothing for me, it's just you saying, hey, we don't want to fucking use you.
Yeah.
Apollo Crews, perfect fucking example.
They're driving me crazy, dude. They're ruining him.
I'm going to harp on that till the day they get it right when he comes out with MVP as his mouthpiece. You know what I'm saying? They had fucked that guy up so bad. He should still be in NXT.
Yeah.
No character.
Yeah, like, let him become the NXT championship and build a character. Why bring him up so early? Makes
no need for him.
No sense. And like now that whole story with Dolph Ziggler and Apollo Crews and Kalisto. I mean, you had two faces versus a heel. When have you ever seen something like that? After
Kalisto, it's a fucking your death.
But
him and Ryback, him and Dolph.
But after Apollo Crews beat Dolph Ziggler when he was by himself, so then you put him in a 2-on-1 match. It made no fucking sense, that whole thing. I'm so confused with what it was like. The writers forgot what they wrote last week, and then decided to put those three people together. But I digress.
That's what happens with Dolph. Since his money in the bank, just like, okay, pin the whale on the fucking. Dolph, you're doing this week.
Oh my god, it drives me crazy. It's so weird.
I don't want to. I know we still want to go over shit, and we don't like going all over the place. But I was listening to Dolph's theme song, and I was like thinking in 2013 how much I was absolutely in love with that character. And how much I thought he should have been the World Heavyweight Champ, and how much everyone loved him. To the point now where I see him on the TV and I don't even fucking care. And he was he's still one of my favorite wrestlers.
He's still one of the best of the ring, but it's the writer. It's not his fault. It's the writer's fault. It's 100%.
They've killed that character so bad that if they ever want to let him get over, he has to be a whole new character. The show off is dead.
I know. Well, you figured when he went heel, they would have probably went with the changes like they did with Neville, right? Like the music changed, the way he came to the ring changed, right? Like he changed everything for it to be a heel.
Yeah,
it tells a story. It's like Dolph came out with a USA on his ass at the last pay-per-view at Elimination Chamber. It made no sense.
Well, his trunks don't even what he wears now doesn't make sense. He's an 80s rocker. He's in Motley Crue, but he's not.
But it's not heel.
Yeah.
It's just confusing. And I love the dude. I went to WrestleMania 29 with a Dolph Ziggler freaking shirt on, hoping he was cashing in the Money in the Bank. You know what I mean? And now we're here.
I think it's at the point right now where he's just wearing whatever the fuck he wants because he doesn't care. He knows they don't give a fuck about him, so he doesn't give a fuck. He's just gonna go out there performing. Hey, I want to be a rock star, so I'm gonna dress like one.
Yeah, do you blame him?
No.
I mean,
I wouldn't have stayed. I would have left if I were him.
He should be doing what Cody Rhodes is doing.
100%. He should be over there with Cody. And
yeah.
I almost feel when Cody was talking, I forget what podcast I was listening to, but he was talking about the two guys that were going to leave with him. I think Dolph was one of the guys.
Yeah, it should be. I mean,